Hey guys, welcome to this week's Weekly Drip. This week we're going to talk about water. So water is very important to coffee. More than 98.5% in your cup is water. So if your water doesn't taste good, your coffee is not going to taste that good. Before I get into the water, I would like to recommend this book if you are interested in learning about water science or how does water do to the taste of coffee. I would like to recommend you to read through this book, the SCA Water Quality Handbook. And this book will teach you how to measure water, how to treat water, and how the different composition in water will affect the taste of coffee. So this book mentioned two very important parameters for water. One is total hardness, one is called total alkalinity. So generally speaking, total hardness is the sum of equivalent concentration of calcium and magnesium in your water. They contribute to the flavor intensity to the coffee. And the other parameter is total alkalinity. It's both taste and technical aspect of the water. Total alkalinity is the pH buffer capacity of the water. So it affects the water to form scale or be corrosion in the machine, and it also will affect the acidity in the coffee. A lot of you have the questions about what are the parameter range for a good tasting water or for a water that's good for brewing coffee. Generally speaking, SCA gives a guideline, and that's considered both technical attributes, which is for the safety of the equipment and also the taste. The total hardness should be between 50 ppm to 170 ppm, and the alkalinity should be in the range of 40 to 75 ppm. So if you want to brew at home and you don't know what water to choose, today we bought a cup of commonly found water in grocery store, and we measured all of the total dissolved solid for those water, and we will have a recommendation for you to brew at home. So I ranged those water from very soft water to kind of hard water. This one is the distilled water. No flavor will come out in your cup. So, but this one is very good if you are using third wave water. You're using any formula to make your water, and that is a very good pure water base. And then we got Aquafina. This one is almost close to pure water. It's only at 1 ppm. And then we have smart water. Smart water is considered on the softer side. The TDS we measured is at 26 ppm. So I wouldn't say it's very good to brew water, but to brew coffee. But if you have a very dark roasted coffee, this water might be worth trying. Because when you are brewing dark roasted coffee, you want to use kind of soft water to tone down the bitterness and the astringency in the coffee and to bring out more sweetness. And then we have the spring water from Walmart. And this spring water we tested is at 40 ppm of TDS. And so this is still on the softer side of the water, but it's very good to brew at home. And then we have this Nestle Pure Life water. And this is probably the closest water to our shop water. We tested it at 70 ppm of TDS. So this is probably the most balanced water, and I would use to brew at home. And then we have Fiji Water. So Fiji Water, I see a lot of baristas recommended Fiji Water to brew coffee, and we tested the TDS is at 140 ppm. So for me, it's a little bit on the harder side of the water. If I'm brewing a light roasted coffee, or I have a very, very good quality coffee I want to brew, and then I would consider using this to bring out more flavor. But at the same time, if your coffee is a little bit on the darker side, on the roasting level, it might bring out more astringency and bitterness. And then we have a very popular option is the third wave water. And we actually tested the third wave water using this distilled water. So we put one package of the mixture powder into 1 gallon of distilled water. And we measured the TDS. The TDS is 165 ppm. But the composition of the ingredients is a little bit different from normally what you see in the spring water. It's magnesium sulfate, calcium citrate, and sodium chloride. So if I'm brewing water, I would probably thinking about using only half of the package to make the water. So your coffee would become more balanced. And another option is actually to buy those chemical ingredients. So I have 3 of the chemicals that I use to make my competition water. So I made my competition water completely from this pure water using calcium chloride and magnesium chloride and also sodium bicarbonate. So those 2 are contributing to the total hardness, and this is contributing to the total alkalinity. So generally speaking, how water will affect the taste of our coffee, we can break down into total hardness and alkalinity. So if you have a very hard water, you will tend to increase the extraction efficiency of your coffee. So you will extract more flavor, but at the same time you might extract some unwanted flavor like bitterness, astringency, like burnt flavor if your coffee is not roasted correctly. Okay. And then to the alkalinity, the higher the alkalinity, the lower the perceived acidity you will taste in your coffee. So if you don't like high acidity coffee, you might think about adding some sodium bicarbonate into your water to make your pH buffer a little bit higher. So that will affect the acidity level of your coffee. So to sum up, generally I would like to use 80 ppm to 120 ppm of water to brew coffee. But that also depends on what kind of coffee are you brewing. So if you are brewing a darker roast coffee, you want to use a softer water. And if you want to brew lighter roasted coffee, or the coffee that you want to bring out more flavor, you want to use a slightly harder water. And we have a question about the optimal temperature of the water. So since we're talking about water composition, I want to mention about the water temperature and how does it change with the kind of water you're using. Some of you are like stacking with a soft water that you are using to brew at home, and you cannot change it. So if you are using a very soft water to brew coffee and you don't feel like the flavor is at the intensity that you want, so you can think about to increase your water temperature to 96, 95 degrees Celsius. Okay. And if you are experiencing too high of the bitterness, too high of the astringency, and because you have a very hard water to brew coffee, and you can think about to decrease the water temperature to 85, 88 degrees Celsius, and that will balance out the water extraction ability and give you a more balanced cup of coffee. So thank you guys for watching this week's weekly drip. If you have any questions, leave us a DM or send us in the comment, and we will try to answer all those questions. Thank you.